Hi there, in this video I'm going to give you an in-depth guide on the support, a very strong perk able of dealing immense amounts of damage in short periods of time. He can do so by being able to carry multiple high-powered shotguns and explosive grenades due to his increased carrying capacity. Using the support's penetration power, you're not only able of dealing high amounts of damage to the bigger Zeds, but can also clear out large waves of trash with ease. My name is Arseniy, and you're watching Killing Floor Tactics. In this video I'm going to be talking about the skills you should be taking, how to manage your money and what your loadout should look like at the end of the game, how to deal with some of the different Zeds, and simply give you some tips to play your class optimally. Let's get right into it. First things first, let's talk about the skills that you should be taking. For level 5, on one side we've got high capacity magazines, and on the other side we've got tactical reload. In this choice, take tactical reload. Why? Because it's going to be more useful in more situations. Imagine this, you're getting overrun. What are you going to need more? Are you going to need bigger mags, or are you going to need faster reload? Like in a scenario, say you're in the corner trapped by a Scrake, okay? That's a pretty bad scenario. What's going to help you more? Your big magazines or the fast reload? Obviously the fast reload, because once you run out of ammo in your high capacity magazine, you're not shooting anything and it's going to take you a while to reload. So tactical reload, you're going to find that it's more useful in more situations. Next up, we've got Salvo and Fortitude, and this is an easier choice than the last one we've taken. Obviously you're going to take Salvo because support is a perk where you really want to get that damage out. Fortitude, you're not really that much in the front line as the Berserker or even the SWAT, so obviously take Salvo. This is an easy choice. You're not trying to be a tank, your role is to really get that damage out that the support is known for, and Salvo is going to help you with that. For the next skills, we've got armor piercing shot on one side and tight choke on the other side. I always take tight choke because this pretty much increases your damage. Your buckshot is going to be flying at less of a, I guess, wider angle and be more focused on one area. This allows you to hit, for example, you're shooting at a head, so that will make more buckshot hit where you're aiming instead of just go flying in different directions. Sure, armor piercing is nice, but the support has pretty good piercing already, so I don't think you need more. Next up, we've got resupply pack and concussion rounds. I guess this one's up to you, but some people might hate me for this. I usually take concussion rounds because this lets you have an easier time with the bigger Zeds. In the videos you might see when I shoot the bigger Zeds, they stumble back, allowing me to get more of an easier shot and not letting the Zeds get up close to me. That's from the concussion rounds. Resupply pack, sure, it's kind of useful, but they get only 20 armor, which isn't a lot, and they get more ammo. And if you have good teammates, they already know how to manage their ammo, so they don't need it that much. Plus you already have ammo restore anyway, so yeah. For me personally, when someone has resupply pack, sure, it's nice, but it never really affects me in that big of a way. And for our final cool skills, for the Z time skills, we've got Penetrator on one side and Barrage on the other. I usually take Barrage because this pretty much ups your damage. When Z time happens, you can empty all your mags into a Zed's head and deal a short, or you can deal a big amount of damage in a short amount of time. Penetrator, I've never really found that useful in any scenario. Sure, you get that good penetration, but is it really useful in Z time, really? When I used it, I was never like, wow, this is so nice, you know? So yeah, just take Barrage, it's an easier choice. I think they should replace Penetrator with something better. And that's it, that pretty much covers all of it. You're left with the entire right side chosen, which isn't a bad thing, but I think that just shows that the left side, maybe it needs a little bit of tweaking. Next up, I'm going to talk about the weapons and how you should be spending your money, what your loadouts should look like, stuff like that. First shotgun that the support spawns with is the SG500 pump action shotgun. This is an okay shotgun, the damage is good, but the firing speed, the reload speed is what weighs it down. So I'd say this is one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the lesser spawning in weapons, and you generally don't want to use this thing for that long, maybe 1 or 2 waves, but after that you want to buy the double barrel boomstick. Speaking of the boomstick, I think that this is one of the best shotguns the support has. I mean, it's weighted low, it doesn't cost a lot, and the damage on this thing is amazing. You can kill all of the medium Zeds in 1 shot or 2 shots, and it does a lot of damage to the bigger Zed as well. So I think that this thing, I mean, people don't think that it's good, because it doesn't cost a lot, but I think that this is the second best shotgun the support has after the AA-12. It's so good I usually get this thing on the second wave and use only that. Not only does it deal tons of damage, but you can also clear out big groups of Zeds with it. The trick is to get up close. The closer you get with this weapon, the more damage you're going to get out of it. Next support weapon we've got is the combat shotgun, and in my opinion, this thing is pretty bad. The damage is okay, I guess, because you can fire pretty quickly, but the reload speed on this thing, nope. When using this weapon, you're going to be spending most of your time reloading. I think for the cost of 1100 pounds and a weight slot of 8, this is really not worth it. You've got better guns like the double barrel, which is cheaper and weighs less, that is much better than it, so overall, don't use the M4. And for the tier 4 weapon, we've got the AA-12 auto shotgun. I think that this is a great weapon because of its good damage, fast attack speed or fast fire rate, and the reload on this thing is great because all of the ammo is in one clip, so you take out the clip, you put it back in. It's not like single buckshot reload like with the M4 shotgun. So overall, you want to buy this weapon later on in the game and use it against the stronger Zeds and when you're in a bit of a tough situation. With the off-perk weapons for the support, we've got the nail gun, which in my opinion is just a bad weapon overall. It was bad in the Berserker, it's bad in this class as well. Why? Because when you're using the shotgun mode, you're pretty much only shooting 4 or 5 times before you have to reload. 2, you have to be really close to the Zeds if you want to deal decent damage. And 3, the single fire mode is just not worth it. It's hard to land, for me at least, and the damage on it is low, the fire rate on it is low, so just stay away from the nail gun. It's pretty fun to use, I'm not gonna lie, but when you're dealing like negative damage with it, yeah, no thanks. Next up, we've got the incendiary trench shotgun, which is actually a really fun weapon. For only a low price of 650 and a weight slot of 5, this makes it a great weapon to use as like a backup. If you're buying this, it's great against the weaker Zeds, and it fares pretty well against the medium Zeds as well. Obviously not good for the bigger Zeds, but for that, you've got the double barrel or the AA-12. And for the final off-perk weapon, you've got the medic shotgun, which in my opinion is pretty good. It's got more ammo than the M4 and it weighs less than the M4, so that's a plus. You can heal with it, the damage is pretty good overall, the reload is quick, the spread on it isn't too bad, so you can fire away from longer distances. So overall, weapon gets the thumbs up for me. I usually buy it. The grenade that the support gets is a simple frag grenade, but it does a lot of damage. You throw it down, you're gonna get a big boom. One thing to look out for is, as I said, this thing does a lot of damage, so you can kill yourself pretty easily with it. Make sure that when you throw it, it goes to where you want to. I've killed myself multiple times with this weapon, or with this grenade. I've seen others kill themselves with this grenade fairly easy, so just watch out where you're throwing it, make sure it doesn't bounce back off of a Zed or off of a teammate or something. So, yeah. I wouldn't say it's as important to buy these early on. I usually have about 2 of them until I can just fill them up, so don't worry about them too much. For the support loadout, it's a little bit difficult to give you guys just a static loadout because, as you know, the support does get more carrying space as you level it up, so you kind of take different weapons as you level up, or you're able to carry more. So for the lower levels, the loadouts you want to have are 2 of the best weapons, the AA-12 and the double barrel boomstick. Use the boomstick against the weaker enemies and then switch to the AA-12 to finish off the wave and to use it against the stronger Zeds. As you get more space, buy the medic pistol to heal your teammates. As you get even more space, buy the incendiary trench gun to have like a backup weapon. And as your carrying capacity increases, replace the trench gun with the medic shotgun. That makes your final loadout at level 25 be double barrel boomstick, medic shotgun, and the AA-12. Try to get the boomstick on wave 2, get the medic shotgun, I don't know, somewhere around waves 4 to 5, and then proceed to get the AA-12 waves 5, 6, 7. Really quick, remember that this is a loadout that I like and these are weapons that I enjoy using. If you don't like something, then go ahead and replace it, try things out for yourself, see what you like. This pretty much covers all of the loadouts and money section. Now let's talk a little bit about the different Zeds that you'll be facing in the game. Let's start this off by talking about the medium Zeds. First one we've got is the blow, and the blow it's fairly easy for the support pretty much because you can be using any weapon and just walk up to him, don't get hit by the bile, and then get one headshot and the head should pop off. If the one headshot doesn't work, a second one should do it. Usually it's not your job to be killing these guys, but since it's so easy to accomplish, I usually just do it for the team. Next up we've got the Siren, which is just as easy if not easier to take out for the support. All you gotta do is just get up close to her, get as close as possible, and using pretty much any weapon, get a headshot. I usually use the boomstick for maximum effect, and that way it's faster. For the next Zed we've got the Husk, and the Husk and the support don't mix. The support is short range, the Husk has got that long range, he's gonna sit far and shoot with his fireball launcher, so your best bet is wait until he shoots and then run around, blast him in the face with a boomstick, or just wait until another class takes him out. You do want to take out the Husk as fast as possible, because if you don't, he's gonna sit afar, take pot shots at you, and that will deal a lot of damage to you and your teammates. And for our last medium Zed we've got the Gore Fiend, and I guess the Gore Fast. And as a support, it is your job to be taking these guys out, but it's super easy to do. All you gotta do is get out your boomstick and take one body shot. You might need two if you're standing too far, but 2 body shots should do it and kill a Gore Fiend pretty quickly. Be sure that you're taking these guys out quickly, because they can become quite a nuisance if they start doing their spinning attack, so just use the boomstick, 1 or 2 shots and you're good. That covers the medium Zeds. Now let's talk a little bit about the harder Zeds that you're going to be facing, the Scrake and the Fleshpound. The support does a pretty good job at dealing damage to these guys. If you have a teammate nearby, you and him can usually take out a Scrake or a Fleshpound with just 2 people. For a Scrake you can either use the boomstick or the AA-12. With the boomstick you want to get as up close to the Scrake as possible and then use your alt fire on his head. 2 alt fires to the head are supposed to kill the Scrake, but most of the time it's fairly hard to land that second alt fire, so just keep shooting him until he dies. The AA-12 approach is pretty easy, as you might have imagined. All you gotta do is get up close to him and start emptying your mag into his head. You want to stay as close to him as possible without getting hit, because that way you're gonna have the maximum amount of buckshot landing into him. So then which one's better for the Scrake, so the AA-12 or the boomstick? Personally, I stick to the boomstick if there's only about 2 or 3 Scrakes, and if it's a big group of big Zeds, like 3 Scrakes, 2 Fleshpounds, stuff like that, that's when you switch to the AA-12 and get the maximum firepower. For the next hard Zed we've got the Fleshpound, and for the Fleshpound I think it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is take out the AA-12 and try to get the maximum amount of headshots as possible. You want to stay close, but not too close that you're getting hit. If you're close, you're gonna have the maximum amount of buckshot landing, and that will deal the most damage possible. If there are multiple Fleshpounds in an area, you can also use your explosive grenade to deal some extra damage. Make sure that you throw them in after they're raged and not before they're raged, because you don't want to rage multiple Fleshpounds at once. And that pretty much covers all of the hard Zeds. I will say some stuff about the boss. For the boss I usually keep the AA-12 and the boomstick. You don't need to keep the medic shotgun because you're not going to be using it much, so what I do is instead I buy a medic pistol and a medic submachine gun. This allows you to have 4 healing darts instead of 2, and that will allow you to provide a good amount of healing to your teammates when they're in need. When you want to deal damage, that's when you switch to the AA-12 or the boomstick. Other than that, the boss should be pretty easy. Judge him the same as a Fleshpound. Don't get too close, but get close enough that you're still dealing good damage with your shotguns. And that pretty much covers all of the Zeds. Now I'm just going to give you some basic gameplay tips with the support here and there, just so you can get better as a player overall. One of the biggest tips that I can give you is save your ammo. So if you see assist, then use your melee attack and kill him that way. Don't waste your ammo. If you see one clot, then let a teammate take care of him. Don't kill him. The stuff that you want to be killing is like groups of Zeds. So if you see 2 or 3 Zeds, then walk up to them and try and position yourself so the bullets go through all of them. You want to use the penetration that your shotguns have to kill multiple enemies at once. This will help you a lot with saving ammo and conserving it for the rest of the wave. And another big tip I've got is you always got to stay close to the targets that you're shooting. This takes some time getting used to, because if you're playing stuff like Commando or Sharpshooter or even Gunslinger I guess, then you're going to be fairly far away from what you're shooting, but with the support, the closer you are to your target, the more buckshot is going to land. That way you're dealing more damage. This is especially important when you're versing the harder Zeds, that you're not sitting in the back by the sharpshooters, but you're up there in the front with the berserker, with the SWAT, stuff like that. Another thing to remember is always make sure that your shotgun is full of ammo. Whenever you've got a moment, just reload it and make sure that everything is good, because you never know when stuff's going to go down and when it does, you'll be glad that you have a shotgun full of ammo. Another important tip I've got for you is use the penetration you have to your favor. What I mean by that is if you're able to sit in a doorway and you take out your boomstick for example, you should be able to clear out big waves of enemies in 1 or 2 shots. The support's role isn't to kill trash, you're there for the bigger stuff and the bigger stuff only, but you can help out your team a lot by sitting in the doorways, using your penetration to your advantage, and clearing out big waves when it's necessary. And yeah, I know, in this video I didn't talk much about the support's welding abilities. Sure, they're great and you can weld doors pretty quickly, but to be honest, in most of the games I played, welding is just unnecessary. I feel like they should give you more of an incentive to weld doors because right now, it doesn't really do much. The only thing it does is slow the game down by slowing down the Zeds. And this really sucks because I think that welding is a really cool concept, being able to block off paths, seal it off so Zeds can't come and attack you from that area. I think that's a cool idea, but I don't know, I think they should change something about it, and not really the welding itself, but the concept of it. You know what I mean. Other than that, there's not many other tips that I can give you. I'm sure there's a bunch of smaller things, but you can figure those out on your own after playing the class for a while. That pretty much wraps up the video, and I've prepared a little highlight just to show you what the support is really capable of once you reach level 25. But before I play that, I'd like to remind you that if you enjoyed the video and if it helped you out, then do leave a like, it helps me out. If you want to see more videos, then there's a playlist in the description where I'm going to have a bunch of other tutorials. And if you want to stay up to date with my content, then either follow me on Twitter or simply subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoy the highlight and have a great day.